All right. Hey everyone, welcome to another Webflow workshop. I'm your host Nelson. Thank you for joining me this week. What we are doing this week is rebuilding the SpaceX.com homepage to celebrate their maiden flight, their test flight of their Falcon Heavy. And as you can tell, and if you've seen past streams, I'm a big fan of SpaceX and Tesla and whatnot, and I just think we're about to witness something amazing. And I just want to rebuild their homepage as a way to show people who haven't used Webflow yet or who are new to Webflow that you can build something like SpaceX.com really easily and even make it mobile responsive within minutes. Okay, so if you're intermediate or advanced user of Webflow, this could be a good refresher for you as well. All right, so episode 113, what we'll learn today is basic element structure and responsive design. Okay, and if you're new here, this stream happens every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And yeah, you can learn new things in Webflow with these weekly workshops. And hopefully this pushes you to go beyond the workshops and see what else you can learn and push beyond your own skills, okay? For today, we're going to do a build, take some questions, no site reviews. I'll tell you why soon. And then we'll just end the stream. I want to make sure that you guys have some time to prep yourself to watch the SpaceX launch as well. All right. So, just a couple of quick announcements. Soon, I think next week or very soon, we're going to be starting again our secondary community stream. And how that's going to work is you have to pre-register for it so you can get the secret link to watch the community stream. And the community stream will have more interviews with designers, people who work at Webflow, so you can meet them behind the scenes. And also, it's just a more variety of topics than just rebuilds. All right, and also we'll be doing more contests, live challenges, and ways for you guys to get more prizes. All right, so yeah, let's get started. Here we go. Let me share my screen. Here we go. All right, so first thing I want to show you guys is this is what we're going to rebuild right here. Okay. And let's break it down real quick, all right? This is a very basic homepage. We have a nav bar right here with a couple of links. We're only going to put a few links so we can speed build this. But after that, we have a hero row. And it looks like the hero row has a slider that's auto-playing. That's definitely doable inside of Webflow, okay? And each slider has its own link and also a button. Now, this first one, right, or actually this second slide right here, it has a background video playing, okay? And we can definitely do that inside of Webflow as well. All right, as we scroll down, we have some outer glow, or it can be a gradient right here. And then we have a H2 right here and a easy 3 column right here. Okay, so these are 3 cards. And then our footer. So it looks like we have 2 footers here. Let's see how much we can do within 30 to 40 minutes or so. Yeah, and then there's something that I noticed when I went on my mobile phone, on my mobile device, that if you actually make it smaller for like iPhone 8, look what happens. It is not mobile responsive. Now I know these are rocket scientists, so they're not web designers, so web design isn't the biggest thing, but hey, I can't fly rockets, so who am I to judge, right? So we're gonna make this responsive for SpaceX, you know? And yeah, so we'll do this quick. Let me remove this. There we go. Okay, also 2 things I want to show you guys if you're new to Webflow. Webflow University, university.webflow.com. We have under video courses a crash course, really short beginner videos. Look at it, they're really short videos. There's like a 5-minute video here, but they're really easy to consume and it's funny and you'll learn really fast how to use Webflow. Okay, and also big shout out to the education team. They just pushed out a new full project build course. So these are longer. See, this one's like 35, 17, 12 minutes. So these are longer. So this will help you get to speed on building a full dynamic site inside of Webflow if you haven't done so already. So this could be really useful to just sit down and watch and build with McGuire and the team. Okay? With that being said, let's build. Let's go. All right, so I have my SpaceX on my laptop right here, and I'm just gonna see if I can go ahead and build it. So first thing I want to do is this add elements panel on the left. This plus sign, this is like our toolbox of things to drag in. So let's go ahead and drag in a nav bar. Really simple like that. Now at the top we give you space. We already put the nav bar and some nav links and a space to put your logo. And if you notice, if you go to the smaller breakpoints, we've already did that hamburger menu thing. So you don't have to code it. There's no coding involved whatsoever. So we've already made it responsive for you just by dragging in a nav bar. Okay, let's keep going. So this nav bar needs a logo. I've already uploaded all of my graphics or assets. Okay, so I'm going to drag in the logo right here into this space. And yeah, right there. And I don't like it's being gray. We always put a default gray so you can actually see where your navbar is for your background. So right here in the styles panel, I'm going to remove the default DDD by clicking on the color droplet and then changing it to a different color. And I think it's like something like, let's go, it's a darker color. Let's go 2s, 1, 2, 3. So I just put in the hex and there we go. Now, I'm going to go to my brand right here. And this brand, it's way too close to the top. So let's add some padding on the top and bottom. So I'm going to hold Alt on my keyboard. So when I hold Alt on my keyboard, it's editing the top and bottom. If I drag from the top or the bottom, it'll edit the top and bottom. If I hold Alt and drag from the left or right, you see that both of them happen. If I let go of Alt, only one of them edits. I can also hold Alt and single click on anything that's blue to remove any styles. Okay? So there we go. It's away from there. And notice that my nav links are gone. They're not really gone. They're just hidden because the background color of the nav bar is a very dark color. So I'm going to change these to, let's change them to white. So I can go here and type white. And automatically a class name is added to this element. So I can just go here and go start typing in that same class name, click it, and now all 3 of these have the same class name. Okay, so let's just put in some links. Let's put in Falcon 9, Falcon Heavy, and Dragon. Okay, and watch what happens. If I want to make them all caps, I just set the typography to all caps, and when it does it to one, it does it to all of them. And I can also make this smaller. So notice how all 3 of them have their styles changed at the same time because they're all sharing the same class. Let's push it down a bit. There we go. All right. So if I go to my tablet, notice how my menu button is gone. It's because it's too dark. So I can click on the menu button, and let's change this 333 to white. And there we go. So now, if I preview, there we go. Everything's done for me. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. So we're going to do a hero row with a slider. So let's do this. I'm going to drag in a slider right there. Cool. And this slider, I'm going to set the height to something like 600. Ooh, that's too big. How about 550? I think that's good right there. Awesome. That should be enough space. Okay, now the reason why the slider is gray is because we have that set on the slide itself. So if I go here, and you notice, oh, that's transparent. One of these has a gray color. Which one is it? Is it you? No, you're transparent. Is it you? There it is. Yep, right here. So it says DDD. So I can set that to transparent right here. And so it gets rid of that gray. But again, I can't see my icons. But that's okay, because in the SpaceX website, it doesn't have the icons. I mean, we can make them. We can keep them there. I'll keep them there for now. So the first slide is the heavy test launch. So that one just has a background image. So we're going to call this slide 1. Okay, and I can click on this, choose image. We're setting the background image. All right, and I'll set that to cover. And what cover does, it stretches the background image to cover the whole space. Okay, and so I'll set this position to 50-50, which means 50% left and 50% down, so it's the center. Okay, and you can adjust these however you want. Okay, and I'm just to keep things clean, I like to turn off repeating. Okay, which is this. Okay, this repeats like a tiling. This repeats on the X, and this repeats on the Y, or this turns off repeating. Okay, cool. So that one's done, except I need to add that bottom content bar, okay, that overlays. So let's do this. It's already positioned relative, so that means I can go ahead and add a div block inside of this slide 1 div, okay, and I'm going to set this to position absolute and push it to the bottom like that. Okay, now you can't really see it because I have nothing inside that div block. It's like sandwiched itself because it's position absolute. All right, so let me go here. Let me make sure that this is relative. Okay, cool. Go back to this div block, and let's go ahead and add some. Let's add some stuff in it. Let's make some padding. Probably like, let's say 25. Let's make it black. But I want to be able to see through, something like that. Let's say 50 on the opacity. Cool. All right. And after that, I think, oh, also I want to make sure that all the text, no, the text, it shouldn't be centered. We should put a container inside of that div block. So a 960 with container. Okay. There we go. And now we can put some text inside of it, and it's going to be a link. So I'm guessing, yeah, here's what I'm going to do. I need 2 things away from each other. Let me show you what I'm looking at. So I need these 2 elements to be away from each other. I can use float left and float right. That's one way. I can use columns. That's another way. Or I can use flexbox. And for this, I'm going to use flexbox because flexbox is so much easier to use. Okay? So that's, oops. I should have turned off my phone. Turn it off real quick. Sorry, guys. All right. Let's go ahead and bring in a div block in here. And so this div block, we're going to name it flex because it's going to have the flexbox display setting right there. And see this icon right here, space between? This pushes 2 elements to the left and right. And if you put 3, then it's left edge, right edge, and then center. So I just need 2 elements. So I'm going to put this one here. All right, and now let's go ahead and put in a text link. See how it's on the left? And if I put something else, let's go ahead and put a button right next to the text link. Right there. And look, see? It's on the sides. Oh, let me turn off my camera so you can see. Right there. See? You have it right here and right here. So let's go ahead and change this to Falcon Heavy Test Launch. Now it's that default blue. Let's go ahead and make this white. So I'm going to say slider, I'm going to call this slider link and make this white with no underline. Make sure that it's bold and it's all caps. And let's make it bigger. Yeah, like that. 34, like that. Cool. And this button right here, watch live, and we need to call this button because it has a different style. We add that default Webflow blue as its background color. So we're going to change it to white, change the text color to, let's go 222, all caps, make that a little bit smaller. Yeah, like that. And it needs to be more of a wider button, so we can adjust this to be something like 50. 12, like that, and make the border radius 5. So now it looks more like a button. 5 is too much. Let's do 3. There we go. So there we go. All right. I think that's good. This could be thicker, actually. Let's go like that. Okay, cool. And these dots, we don't need the slide nav. So one thing we can't do in Webflow is have a slider where you have these custom things. You can do it using custom code, but for this build we're not going to use code, so we're just going to skip that part. Okay, so this slide nav right here, I'm just going to set it to none. There we go, goes away, but we can still go through our slides with the left and right arrows. Okay, that's cool, that's cool. So slide 1 is done. Slide 2 has a background video. Let's go ahead and go to it. So this slide 2 right here, if we click it, it looks like we lost our slide 1. It's still there. If we click it, it changes slides. Okay, if we go slide 2, we're there. Now we can work on slide 2. Now just to speed up this build, I've already uploaded a background video that right there. And what a background video is just another component inside of Webflow. So if you click on the add panel, drag in background video, you can just click on upload video, upload your file, and that's it. We handle everything else for you. Okay, so this works like a regular div. So I can do Control X on my PC to cut, go back to my home page, go back to slide 2, and do Control V to paste. And there we go. We have a background video. And let's see here. So the background video is here, but I want to make sure that it's as tall as a slider. What did we set the slider to? 550. So I'm going to set the height of this background video to 550. There we go. So it's the same thing. And now I can go back here and copy this div block. Actually, I don't like it named div block. Let's call this slider content. Okay, so I can copy my slider content from here, and I'm going to paste it here. And there we go. I can just reuse this and call this Falcon Heavy sends car to Mars. Watch video. Cool. Now, if I want to do add another slide, what I can do is copy slide 2 and paste it, and now we have slide 3. Okay, now it looks the same because it has the same content, but I can click on slide 3 and start making changes. Okay, cool. And this one is one more. Okay, sweet, sweet. I think when you hover, okay, yeah, these slider links, when you hover, I can go to the states right here, and I can set my hover state, and it'll have an underline. So that way, if I hover, we got an underline. Okay, cool. So our hero row is almost done, almost done. I forgot one more thing. Let's remove the background video from slide 3. And slide 3 has, let's call it slide 3. And it has a background image of Mars. Set it to cover, center, no repeat. And there we go. So if we take a look at our work so far, yeah, see, the background video is working. Cool. One more thing I want to do with this slider is I want to make sure that it's auto playing. So I'm going to do that. So auto plays, And then, yeah, that's it. I want to make sure that autoplays. Oh, animation type. I don't want it to slide. I want it to crossfade because that's what SpaceX has. See how it crossfaded right there? So that's what I want. So if I preview it now, go to next slide, it crossfades. Ooh, the crossfade is really fast. I can set that duration to something like 1 second, so 1,000 milliseconds. Yeah, much slower. Sweet. All right, our hero row's done. Let's keep going. So the next part is the H2, some sort of gradient up here, and then 3 cards. Easy. Let's go. Let's collapse all of my navigator, and let's put in a new section. All right, put in a section right there, and let's call this let's just call this section for now. Okay, because we're only using one section, and I want to make sure that there's space at the top and bottom. We'll say 50. I think 50 is good. And let's go ahead and do a background gradient to make it look like this slider is kind of hovering. Okay, so see how this gradient right here, it gives it the fact that this hero row is like a little bit above. If you're shining a light, then this area here has a drop shadow. So that's what we're going to do, but we're going to use the trick with gradient. Okay, so we're going to add a gradient, and we already have black to white, so I can just make this a little bit more subtle, like that. Okay, and I want to make sure that it's like that. All right, cool. Make this darker. Yeah, cool. Something like that. All right, play around however you want. But there we go. And now let's go ahead and put a container in here, so it contains everything. All right. So the first thing I want to do is bring in a heading. We'll call this the H2. And this one, let me just copy paste the text. Copy, paste. All right, it's way too big and it needs to be centered. So let's go ahead and fix this. We're going to call this H2. Let's remove the top margin by setting it 0. We default it to its natural styles. When you drag into H2 or code into H2, the browser already adds padding to it on the top and bottom. Okay, so we've just removed that by deliberately setting it to 0 at the top. Let me set it to 0 at the bottom. Okay, let's go ahead and center this. Make sure this is a bit smaller. So it's one line. So, yeah, something like that. Cool. And that's line height. I always like to add 6 to it, so this would be 23. All right, that's done. Okay, cool, cards. Let's play around with cards. I'm gonna add another, let's add I could use Flexbox or I can use columns because these cards are really simple to do. Let's do Flexbox. I want you guys to learn Flexbox. So here we go. I'm going to put a div block, and I'm going to call this Flex, right? But the other Flex that I have right here, it's doing the spacing where it's spaced between. Now, I could do that, or I can do just justify start where it's like pushed to the left, kind of like text, how everything starts on the left. Yeah, I'll just go with the space between because it's just 3, and so it's going to be 2 on the sides and 1 in the center, so it's going to be good. All right, so I'm going to leave that there. And this guy's way too close to this, so let's go ahead and push this down. Let's say something like 75. No, 60. Something like that. All right, now let's start on our first card. So I'm going to drag in a div block. And I'm noticing that the only part that is linkable is the image, the text, and the call to action. The whole card itself is not linkable. So this is going to have to be a link block, text link, text link. Cool? Cool. Let's go. So we're going to name this card. And we're going to have a lot of padding. So let's just start with 25. I like starting with 25. All of these have a drop shadow or outer glow. So I'm going to just go ahead and start setting that now. Let's go ahead and set it to black for now, and then yeah, 10 would be good. Okay, and now we're gonna point it this way, and we'll just leave it like that for now, and we'll edit it as needed. All right, next thing, we need a link block. So the difference between a link block and a text link is a text link is only for text. Link block, you can put anything inside of it. You can put images, text, almost anything in it. So because I need an image, I can't use text link. So I'm going to use text link block. I'm going to put that inside my card. And it's asking me where I want to, what happens if I click it. I'm just going to leave it blank for now. And now inside of this, let's go ahead and put the first card image. And that is right here. Drag that in. Cool, cool. And now I'm going to go to its parent, which is link block. And I'm going to set this to card image. Card image. Okay. The reason why is because I want to make sure that there's room under it by setting, let's say, 20 pixels like that. And now we can drag in a link block or text link right there. Oh, because this is display. See, this is display inline. Okay, I want to set this to display block so it's on its own row. There we go. We're going to call this card link. And let's go ahead and style it. So notice how this is default link blue. Okay, but our typography says 333. Just overwrite the blue by going like that. Just making it any color. And there you go. Okay. So let's go ahead and copy and paste this. Copy. Paste. Easy peasy. Okay. Yes, it's going too far. I can fix this later, but let's go ahead and put our content now. For now. Margin. Let's go ahead and set this to even 20 as well. And let's go ahead and put in another text link. And this one is going to be called Learn More. And I think this should just be card link as well, like that. Card link, but I'm going to use a combo class. Actually, no, let's remove this. Card CTA, like that. Because this is a different color, different size, different everything. Okay, so I shouldn't combo class if it's completely different. So this one's like a blue. Something like that. Remove the underline, make this smaller. Yeah, like that. And this one should be bold. And a bit bigger. Cool, cool. Alright. Where are we at? We need that arrow. Can I get that arrow? Can I get... It's just an ASCII. Let me go get it. Where is it? I just need a little arrow. ASCII arrow. Right. Let me just steal a right arrow. Cool. Got it. And paste it. Cool. There we go. Oh, actually, this should be all caps too. There we go. Maybe this is too far. Let's make it like 10. Nice. So we got our first card done. So now all we gotta do is copy and paste it 2 times. 1, 2. Easy. And I noticed that they're hitting each other. So I'm gonna take this card. I'm gonna call this middle. Give it a combo class of middle. And then push it away from its siblings. How far? Let's say 20 on both sides. Cool, like that. Alright, so let's just double check our outer glow. I noticed that the outer glow right here is very faint, whereas the ones on the sides and the bottom are more dark. So what I can do is I can take this card, make sure that you're not doing the combo class, you're doing the regular one. And let's set the angle to 180. Alright. And let's set the distance. There we go. Distance to 4. Yeah, like that. And maybe we should make it a bit darker. Cool. There we go. We got our cards. Now let's just replace the content. This one has that. This one has that. And we have different words. Commercial. Oh, actually, we can just copy paste. There. And let's copy paste this. Nice. Oh, that's not cool. All right, I'm gonna make each card 33%. Let's see if this will work. So how to set these to exactly 3 columns is you can go here on the flex flex item settings. In the basis, I'm going to say 33.333%. There we go. Boom, fixed. All right. What's next? So that's done. Let's go ahead and, oh, notice something? Look at it. Learn more is at the bottom. Learn more is at the bottom. Learn more is at the bottom. But if I look here, that's okay because this is 3 lines. That's okay because it's 3 lines, but that's only 2. How are we going to solve this? So let's see here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to group these 2 elements together, and the learn more is going to be by itself. So that way we have 2 elements, and I'm going to push them away using Flexbox. Watch this. Watch this. Okay. So in this card right here, we have the card image and card link. I'm going to drag in another div, put the card image and the card link inside of there so they're grouped up. Okay, so I'm going to have this div block right here. I'm going to call it card flex. I'm going to set the, oh, sorry. I'm not going to name it card flex. Oops. So they're grouped up. Yeah, I don't need to name this anything, but here, this card, I'm going to also set this as a flex and set it to vertical and make sure that, see right here, the space between. So we use space between on the sides. Now doing it vertical, I can do space between up and down. And see what happened to this learn more? I'll show it to you again. Watch what happens. Everything's starting from the top, and now if I do space between, learn more goes to the bottom. But notice how there's more space at the top of this card link. That's because it's not grouped, just like I did with this one. So let's go ahead and do that right now. All I have to do is drag in a div block, put the card image and the card link inside of it. There we go. Let's do it again. Div block, card image, card link, and now we fixed it. See? That easy with Flexbox. All right? So all the learn mores are down at the bottom. All right? And it doesn't matter if there's 4 lines, 1 line, 2 lines. So say this was just 1 line. Let me delete this. See, now it's 1 line. It still doesn't move up. There you go. Cool? Okay, let's go, let's go. Last one. Let's just do 1 footer, and the footer has 4 columns. Okay, now again, I can use the columns widget, but I want you guys to start getting used to Flexbox. If you're not used to Flexbox, go to flexboxgame.com. That's something that our team has built to help you guys learn Flexbox in a fun way. Okay? Let's go. Collapse everything. Drag in a new section. And here's something that's cool with HTML5. I can specifically call this out as a footer for all the search bots, okay? So if I go to settings, there's this tag right here as a regular div, or I can set it as a footer, okay? And there we go. We've just done HTML5. Easy. All right, so now in the section, notice how we have nothing inside of it. Let's call this footer and start messing around with it. I'm going to give it a class name of footer so I can start styling some stuff directly on it. Let's give it, it's like a blue-black-ish color. So I'm going to do something like this. All right. And yeah, that's it. So let's go ahead and put in a container. Oh, notice how the container is right on the edge. Let's go ahead and go back to our footer and add some space at the top and bottom. 25. That's my number. Nah, it should be more. I'm looking at it. Probably 35. All right, so we have our container. And let's go ahead and put in another div block and use flex. Okay, our flex is ready to go. We're going to have four columns. So let's go ahead and put in our first column, div block right there. And in here, we're going to have one piece of text that's a header and then links under it. So we're going to call this footer header and make sure that it's white. And it's actually everything in this footer is all caps. So instead of having to set every element as all caps, I can go to its parent and it'll push down all caps to all other elements, okay? So if I go to footer right here, I can set it to all caps, and there we go. Anything inside of it will have all caps. Cool? Let's go. So this one is rockets and spacecraft. And this footer header should be smaller. And let's just make that bold. And now let's go ahead and put in some text links right there. And notice how it's already, let me turn this off. It's already caps. So let's go ahead and start typing. And let's call this a footer link. There we go. And it should be like a gray right there. Remove the underline, make this small, like 10. Let's make it 11. Like that. Okay, cool. Nice. And so this footer link, let's go ahead and set this to display block. That way I can set the margin under it to like 5. And let's copy and paste it 2 times. This is display block, not inline block. There we go. Falcon heavy. Dragon. Cool. So that one is done. So we're going to call this footer column or footer call. I'll just write it out. Footer column. And because it's 4, 100 divided by 4 is 25. So the basis, 25%. All right. Now I can copy and paste it 3 times. Copy, 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Now, each footer column, except for the last one, has these dotted lines. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's really faint. But we can do a dotted line border. Okay? So let's do that. Footer column, border on the right, dotted, and so there we go. Awesome. All right. And each column actually has some space like that. Let's say 25. That's my number. All right. There we go. Now this last one, we're going to call this last column because I want to keep all the styles except for this. So I'm going to set the border to none, and also the margin on the right, I'm going to set that to 0. And there we go. Easy. All right, next one. Let's go updates. And that one, now I just got to update the content. Really easy. Delete that. Okay, so right after I do this, we're going to go straight into responsiveness. Okay. Careers. gallery, copy paste, because I need a fourth one, shop. Okay, so this one's different. This one, we can, it doesn't have any links. It just has the logo and their address. So I'm gonna go here, under assets, drag in the logo into this footer column, right? And now we just need text, and we're just gonna call this footer address. And this text will be it's not really white, it's not gray, so something like in between. Okay, and let's make this small, say 12, and this one's gonna say Rocket Road, and I can hold shift and press enter to force a line break. Form California. And yeah, we're done. So in 32 minutes, we got ourselves, in 32 minutes, we got ourselves a nav bar, a hero with the slider, and a background video, 3 columns using flex, 4 columns using flex. Not that hard, okay? So yeah, try it out yourself. And again, if you're new to this stream, I always let you clone this project inside of your own Webflow account, so that way you can build upon it, use it as a template for your future clients, or just reverse engineer and see what you can learn from it. Okay, it's all up to you. This is a great way to get yourself learning. All right, responsiveness. So responsiveness is just how does it look like in smaller size screens. Okay. So how you can check is this little tab right here, you can click and drag and see what it looks like, okay? So far so good. If I'm going like this, yeah, nothing really moving. Except for this. This goes to 2 lines, okay? And I guess that's okay. Is it 2 lines here? Yeah. Huh. I don't like how it's, not a fan of how it line breaks. So what I can do with this H2 on this one is let's add some padding until it gets to where I want it to be. There we go. Cool. So now if I go like this and like that, we don't have a weird break. What the heck? Sorry guys. Okay, I'm definitely turning off now. Alright, now we go back here, go here to something smaller. Yeah, okay, now we have some work to do. Notice that a lot of things feel very squished. That's not cool. Let's go ahead and fix this, alright? So first thing, let's go ahead and these slider links, we can make that smaller. We can definitely make that smaller. Or, actually, no. We're using Flexbox. We can leave that text as big as it is. Let's go to slider content and... Oh, no, not slider content. Oh, right here. Flex. All right, so for this flex, I'm going to set it to vertical. Boom. All right, that's looking better already. And let's go ahead and center the text. And, yeah... That line break again, too much. So let's go ahead and slider link and make this smaller. We're gonna have to check the other slider links as well. Push it down a bit. There we go. Watch video. The watch video button is really big. So let's go ahead and see here. Let me go to my flex. Notice, so it's stretching because we have it on the flex to stretch. Let's see if I can center it. I think that's better. All right, so that's done. Let's go ahead and look at our other slides just in case. So we're on slide 2. Let's click on slide 1. Really cool. Slide 3. Oh, that one looks perfect. Oh, yeah. All right. So that's done. Okay, now look at this. Look at our cards. Okay, our cards are messed up. Look at this. So, oh, geez. What is going on here? I don't like it. Let's fix it. So this flex right here, it's already doing the vertical because that's what we did, and we did it center. So that's why it's going like this, okay? So let's add a combo class and call it cards. So flex cards, and we're going to set it to stretch, okay? And the reason why this one is smaller than these two is, remember how I have this combo class right here, and it has the 20s on each side. So I'm going to set this to 0 and 0, and it's gone. Okay? And these cards right here, they're too close to each other vertically. So now I can set my 20s on the top and bottom margin. And there we go. Nice. All right. If I can squish it down, looks nice. But I don't like how it hits the edges. So for the cards, let's go ahead, all of them. Oh, wait, no, what? Oh, because let's set this to 20. And this one right here, I removed the 20. Let's put it back. There we go. There we go, much better. Let's look at our footer. It looks decent, but not really. Don't like it. Let's go ahead and fix this. Because notice how it just looks weird. It's doing that same thing as the cards. What if I did the card? Not cool. Let's go ahead and make another combo class. We can call it... let's see here. Does it need to... Actually, here. This one, it can be... This one, it can be two by two. So it's 4 columns. So I can do 2 and then 2. Let's try that, okay? So I'm going to call this flex footer. And let's go ahead... Flex footer. There we go. I want a new combo class, okay? And let's go ahead and set this to horizontal again, okay? And let's go to our footer columns. And so remember how I had it as 25? I can easily set this to 50, all right? But it's not moving anywhere because the flex right here, we need to set the wrap children. So that way, if it goes beyond 100, it wraps down, okay? So it's wrapping down on all of them. And I'm thinking it's because of this right here, this margin, right? So I'm going to remove that, and there we go. Let's go ahead and remove our borders as well because we don't need it. And each footer column, let's go ahead and margin down a bit. What's my number? 25. Cool. So we have a 2 column. All right, so this one is done. Let's move on to the last one. Still feeling good here. Oof, not feeling good here. Let's go ahead and remove some of that space. Say 20. This looks good. This looks good. Now our footer. Let's go ahead and make it vertical. That looks great. And look at that. We've just made it responsive. Let me publish this real quick. And you guys can check it out for yourself. Let me put the link in the chat room right now. And let's go ahead and look at this responsive. Let me go to responsive. There we go. So here we go. We have desktop. Putting it down to tablet. Mobile landscape. 4 columns right there. And mobile portrait, which most people use. And that was I did a responsiveness in 8 minutes. So look at that. There you go, guys. Guys and gals. Hopefully you guys learned some stuff. Yeah, you'll be able to clone this on your own account. right after this stream. I'm going to post a link in the YouTube description and also the forum post on forum.webflow.com. That was fun. All right. So let's go ahead and go to some of your questions. All right. Thanks again to our community manager, Anais, who's in the chat room right now, taking your questions. We got a couple. Here we go. Beautiful Roots is asking, how do you adjust... Let me go here. How do you adjust the browser to iPhone 8 in Chrome DevTools? Easy. You would just right-click on any website in any blank area. Click on Inspect. Oh, I'm not even showing my screen. There we go. So right-click anywhere. Click Inspect or Control-Shift-I. And then there's this little button right here. This button right here. Toggle Device Toolbar. You can click it. And then there's a drop-down, iPhone 8. And there we go. So again, this is the live site, SpaceX.com, and it's not responsive. But if we go here to my version and inspect it, iPhone 8, it is responsive. And it was fun. Oh, look at it. That gradient goes too far. Okay, let's fix that real quick. This section right here, the gradient right there. Okay, that's fixed. That's fixed. That's fixed. Cool. And let's just make sure that the cards are white background. So I'm going to go back to my desktop and I'll set it to white. And that color pushes down to all the other breakpoints. It's saved. It's published. Boom, I'm done. Let's go ahead and look at that real quick. Refresh. Okay. Let me go to inspect. And there we go. We fixed that. That gradient no longer goes too far. Great question, Beautiful Roots. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do with Chrome DevTools. All right, here we go. Here we go. Page not found. Am I putting the wrong link? Here we go. Let me try it again. Try that. Lavjal. I think I'm saying that name right. Sorry if I'm not. Could you set the background video to 100% instead of pixels? Yes, you can. All right. So, great question. Let's go to our slide 2 where our background video is. And slide 2, let's see, background video. I'm going to remove the height. And it has a natural height of, I think, Webflow puts a natural height of like 500 to background videos after you upload them. And all it is just a div. And inside the div, we put in the necessary HTML5 video tags inside of it. But you can use the div as a regular div that you can put things inside of. Okay? It's not its own independent element. You can still use the background video as a background. Okay? Alright. So if I set this to 100%, what happens? Yeah, same thing. Because its parent element, it's looking for 100% of its parent element. And slide 2, it's set to auto. So I guess it's mask and slider. So it's taking its height from its parent, which is 550 pixels. So, good comment. All right. One is asking how to make exactly tabs like SpaceX page. Yes, so these tabs. So before I streamed, I was thinking, do I use slider or tabs? And so here's the thing. I went with slider because on SpaceX's website, if you can see right here, this is the official site, it does the auto playing between each tab or slide, okay? I use the slider because tabs doesn't have that option to automatically go to the next slide, okay? You have to click on each tab to advance the slide. Whereas the slider, you can't set these actual tabs. And how you can do that, though, is using a bit of jQuery to set interactions. And now that makes me think. Yeah, I don't think you can do it with interactions too either. Yeah, you're still going to have to use some custom code to make these tabs work with the slider. All right? But great question. Here we go. Next one from Spencer. Do fractions work inside of Webflow? Could you type 1 over 3? I think they work. 1 over 3, I think you're talking about this. Let's try it. So what I did was 33.33333 is 100 divided by 3. So let's try 1 divided by 3 right here in the basis, and let's see what happens. No, you can't. I mean, you can. It did the math. Let's do 100 divided by 3. Today I learned. Thank you, Spencer. So yes, you can type in fractions. So if I wanted to go to my 4 column right here, my footer, if I didn't know what 100 divided by 4 is, I can just go 100 divided by 4. Boom, done. So yes, you can do math inside of Webflow. Last one. Oh, it's not a question. Hugo says, great job, Nelson. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. I'm really hoping you guys are learning something new. I mean, I've learned something new just right now. I can do fractions inside of the styles panel. But, yeah. So that's about it. No site reviews today. Why? Is because we are moving those to our community live streams, our secondary stream, which is going to be awesome. And you're going to have to register for it because we want to make sure that we're sending you guys, giving you guys a chance to win prizes and to just get more content out of these streams, because we want this to become something for you where it's not just rebuilds but some variety. All right, with that being said, thank you guys so much. If there's any other questions, post them on the forums or tweet at me. Let's go through our ending our outro. Okay, so if you have any account, billing, or technical questions, go to university.webflow.com/contact. Our support team will help you out as fast as they can. If you want to join our community of very friendly developers and designers, and a lot who are in the chat room right now, join the community. Go to forum.webflow.com. Show off what you've built in Webflow. Introduce yourself. Ask a question. And if you get your question answered, please pass that favor forward and answer someone else's question so we can all grow together. This stream happens every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific. Don't forget to check us out on twitter.com/webflowapp. You can follow me at thepixelgeek. Instagram.com/webflowapp, and also Facebook.com/webflow. Whew. All right. So thank you guys so much for watching. Good luck to the team at SpaceX. I'll be watching. The whole world will be watching for this historic human event. And as always, make the web beautiful. See you next week.